What is going on? What's going on? So guys, in the game for the past, I don't know, since like 2007 or 8, it's 2008 when Synchros got introduced, I think it was around 2008. We've had deck evolution or evolving or cards or whatever. So we had Synchros, we've had Xyz monsters, and now we have Pendulums. And we haven't really had a mix of, well, we have, but... So basically, Konami's gonna have to make the decks keep evolving. Before they made Synchros, they were like heavily focused on fusion type decks. I won't say maybe heavily, but like you had Cyber Drags, back then, Cyber Drags. You had E-Heroes and Roids. I'm not saying those decks became relevant or anything like that. I'm not talking about that. I wasn't even playing during that time. But they were trying to make fusions kind of a thing as like a main extra deck thing. They started involving the extra deck more, and then Synchros, and then Xyz, and now we have Pendulums, which kind of goes off the extra deck, but it's not in the same type. So basically, what is next for Yu-Gi-Oh? What is next for it to stay evolved and stay fresh? And there's always going to be discussions and opinions, and this is definitely not me saying that this is what it's going to be, but this is what I would like it to be, or something I'd like to see. So, in Pokemon, if you don't know, there are Mega Evolutions, or something around that nature. I don't really follow Pokemon anymore when it comes to the card game. But Pokemon in general, you have a evolution tree when you play off your bench. And I always liked that idea in Yu-Gi-Oh! Not necessarily full-on evolution, because that's a Pokemon thing. If Yu-Gi-Oh! Did that right away, it'd be like, okay, you definitely copied Pokemon. But kind of like an evolution of ranked up. So that's what I thought would have been besides Pendulum, because they were really going towards the rank up thing. And not necessarily you have to play a card to rank up. So it could be in the extra deck, it could be main cards, but I feel like extra deck would be the better version. So just like with some Chaos monsters where you can overlay on top of it to rank it up, I'm saying a whole new thing that could be ranked up from Synchro and Xyz monsters, or fusion. Like there could be all sorts of different cards. It could be even a normal card. So basically, you could have a card that's like a level 8, and you need to tribute it, not even from the extra deck, and you normal summon it. And if you have its ranked up version or evolved form, you can completely overlay it. And it could be a Synchro, it could be Xyz. They don't have evolved cards. Don't necessarily have an exact. What's the word? They don't have a format, like they're not necessarily always Synchro, they're not necessarily always Xyz. They could be a monster that you can play in your decks. Basically, if you play this card and you have the Evolve form in your hand, you could just overlay on top of it from your hand. To have more power, and you could do certain things, and it could change. So, like I said, if you have one that, they can make some that are Synchros and Xyz, and they can do different things. So if it was Xyz and overlays on top of this card, kind of like a rank up, it could, say, detach, or detach one card, or to gain materials, it could add a card. There's ways it could go about it. But I feel like that'd be like a cool mechanic to have to the game, is that thing that doesn't matter, it's not Synchro, Xyz, or Fusion specific, it's just cards have different evolved types. Some Synchros might have an evolved type that becomes an Xyz, or an Xyz might have an evolved type that becomes a Synchro, and people are like, well, how does that make sense? Because Xyz aren't leveled, they have ranks, how could you level it up? Well, you could just change it. I mean, Konami can pretty much do what they want. You could have it or evolved into a level monster and like stuff like that. So like a rank 4 would turn into like a level 8 or something. I don't know. It doesn't necessarily have to be like that. I like the idea of monster evolving. I kind of like the idea of rank ups. It just hasn't really been official. Well, not official, but something that has become like a staple that you see people playing. It's usually in gimmicky decks. In fact, it's kind of a part of Gimmick Puppets. Speaking of gimmicky.
Bada bop boom pow.
Who knows, there might also be another extra deck thing, just like Xyz and Synchros and Fusions that just are added to it. We'll never know. I wasn't a fan of Pendulums, still am not the biggest fan of Pendulums. It's just not, I don't like the mechanic as well. I know it's going to be there for the game and they're probably going to keep evolving it, but I would like to see something new. So how about you let me know down below, what would you guys like to see? Make up anything out of your mind. I'm not saying it has to even sound somewhat feasible, just name a game mechanic that you would like to see added to the game. For Konami to keep it fresh, it doesn't necessarily have to be a new card type or archetype, card type like what I said, like a rank up, evolve form. It could be just a new mechanic in general to the game, that makes more of an impact, like slightly like how they made it where each opponent can have a field spell. So it can be minor, it can be huge. Just let me know what you would like to see since you heard mine. Alright? Alright. Peace.